A very good afternoon to you. Many thanks for joining us. This is Channel One Lunchtime News. We are bringing you the latest news that is happening here in the country and beyond. My name is Betty Kiptum and Lensa Odengo is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged the global community to start viewing and engaging young people as an asset with current value and not as future promise. The president said if properly nurtured and provided with the right opportunities, the youth have unlimited potential to become change makers and create a development revolution.
Speaking in State House, Nairobi during a virtual high-level meeting of the United Nations Generation Unlimited, President Uhuru Kenyatta said that youth are a present asset and not a future prospect. The president saying his decision to appoint young people into top government positions is a deliberate intervention meant to provide the youth with an opportunity to be mentored and be prepared for more senior positions.
Our young people are without doubt a generation unlimited. Change makers are what they are because they have perfected the art of breaking boundaries. In the face of challenges, they find a way out, and if there's no way out, they create one. And in good times, they look to opportunities, and if there are no opportunities, they create them. And that is why they are called makers of things.
President Kenyatta, who is also the UN Global Champion for Young People, encouraged the youth to shed their fears and engage in positive activities within their communities.
I take the position that the youth must be on their part and have the right mindset, and they must appreciate the essence of self-discipline, hard work, and especially integrity. They must believe in creating wealth and not desiring to be rich using shortcut methods.
The president told the meeting, also attended by ICT Innovation and Youth Affairs Cabinet Secretary Jomo Sheru, that social institutions, the environment, especially the education system, and lack of self-drive were among the major setbacks impeding the youth from reaching their potential as change makers.
We are telling our young people that they are actually closer to the future than we are, and that in their endeavors they are likely to discover things that we cannot fathom in our lifetimes. And this is because the future belongs to them, if only they have the right mindset.
To address the environmental barriers inhibiting Kenyan youth from succeeding in the digital space, the president said his administration was rolling out a competence-based curriculum CBC and a DigiSchool initiative to build young digital minds.
Our DigiSchool program has provided over 1 million tablets to children in primary schools, and we are creating an environment that will nurture change makers of the Generation Unlimited.
Purity Museo, Channel One News.
Now to health matters, doctors in Embu County have threatened to go on strike in 7 days if the county government does not improve their working conditions. The medics also cite no payment of their COVID-19 allowances by the administration.
Solidarity forever.
Led by the Upper Eastern Secretary of the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacist and Dentist Union KMPDU, Elvis Mwandiki, doctors in Embu County have given a 7-day notice to Governor Martin Wambora's administration, which they accuse of turning a blind eye to their problems.
No doctor has been promoted in Embu County for the last 10 years, including some of our doctors who are consultants. Wako kwa job group M ambayo ni job group ya interns. Ile kitu nataka kuambia county government ya Embu ya kwamba by 7 days kama hii maneno haitakuwa imekamilika, in the next 7 days all doctors shall withdraw their labor from all the hospitals.
The doctors lament that they had not been paid their house rents and landlords were threatening to evict them.
Most of the doctors that you can see today here, wengi wao vitu zao za nyumba zimechotwa na mabank sababu hawaweza kulipiwa zile loans. Bank imekuja mpaka kwa manyumba kuchota madaktari.
The doctors now vow to paralyze services at all health facilities in the county if their grievances are not addressed by the time the notice expires. Elsewhere, a 21-year-old second-year student at Eldoret Polytechnic has invented a sensor hand-washing machine that will cushion locals from the deadly coronavirus disease.
Kona automatic hand-washing machine mashini ambayo unaosha mkono bila kuguza mfereji, unaweka mkono chini na chini ya mfereji na maji inatoka.
Duncan Mathenge says he hopes to help communities during this time the country is grappling with the coronavirus with his innovation.
Tengeneza mashini kusaidia nchi yetu, especially Busia County, maana Busia County iko kwa border na kuna kazi mingi sana kwa border, matrela zinavuka zikirudi na matrela hizo tunasikia zinapatikana sana na madereva wao wanapatikana sana na ugonjwa huu.
Purity Museo, Channel 1 News.
Residents of Baringo South who were recently displaced by rising water levels of Lake Baringo are now living in fear after a huge sinkhole appeared in the vicinity, triggering panic amongst the flood victims. According to the residents, a billow of smoke was spotted emanating from the ground before the earth caved in, further gushing out water. Baringo Governor Stanley Kiptis has called on geologists to move in and assess the area.
After relocating from their previous homes following flooding exacerbated by rising water levels in the nearby lakes, a tragedy is again knocking on their doors. These flood victims in Baringo South woke up to a shocking phenomenon which they say could be a ticking time bomb. A part of the ground they now occupy caved in.
Asubuhi saa 12 ikatoa tu kama moshi ile ya jiko. Ikainuka. Sisi tukadhania hiyo ilikuwa ni nini? Watu wenye bomu walikuwa nadhani ile ni hippopotamus imetokezea. Kumbe dakika kidogo tu ikaenda chini, maji kaanza kutoka. Kuanzia sasa hapo ni hatari. Walikuwa wanasema sijui hiyo maji taenda alafu ibomoe mahali side gani. Sasa tunataka wataalamu waangalie hapo, waangalie kwa sababu kuna watu bado wanaishi hapo. Na hatari itatokezea wakati wote sababu maji iko chini na maji imekaribia kwa hiyo shimo.
What is more worrying, however, they say the hole could be having a secret outlet as waters flowing in from the nearby flooding Lake Baringo is yet to fill up the giant hole.
Unaona maji vile yanatiririka yanamwakika ndani ya shimo lile lakini hayajai hayabunguki, so yale ambayo tunaona ya kwamba ni jambo la hatari kwa wakaaji wa hapa.
And in what may seem like a double tragedy, the flood victims are now worried that it might be a disaster in waiting.
Wanataka kutoka na hakuna mahali wanaenda. Unataka kutoka kweli, lakini hauna mahali ya kwenda. Hata wakikuja hapa hawana hiyo tents ya kujenga. Hata wenye walifika hapa hawajawahi kupata hiyo tents.
Area leaders, among them Baringo Governor Stanley Kiptis, have urged the residents to move to safer grounds, calling on the national government to move in and ascertain the safety of the area.
Call upon the geologists to come and carry research and inform us of what's happening beneath the ground, because we were blaming the rainfall, but we are seeing as if this plate tectonics is swapping. So there's a bit of some movement in the landmass. So we call upon geologists to come and inform us so that we may guide the community and where they can actually settle.
Kiptis was speaking while distributing food to over 1,000 flood victims who are currently living in IDP camps in Kampi Ndege in Marigat Ward. Kamchi Menza for Channel 1 News.
Now, construction of housing units for police officers at Kigumo Police Station in Murang'a County, which had stalled for 2 years, has resumed, with the project set for completion in October. Deputy Inspector General of Police Edward Mbugwa says the government will also renovate houses in Githumu Police Station in efforts to improve the welfare of law enforcers.
The Kigumu Police Station Staff Housing Project was launched by Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i and former Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet in 2018, but later stalled due to lack of funds. Deputy Inspector General of Police Edward Mbugwa says construction has resumed and the units will be ready for occupation in 2 months.
That we allocated adequate money to complete these buildings. But before the building could be completed, the financial year came to an end. But something wrong happened, all the money were returned to the treasury. And there is no other way the building could be completed.
Mbugua hailed Kigumo Member of Parliament Wangari Mwaniki for following up on the progress of the project, urging local leaders to do the same.
I appreciate the way the Mheshimiwa is concerned about the officers and the security of her constituency. She's doing well.
Meanwhile, residents of Kazandani Ward in Nyali constituency, Mombasa County, are up in arms over the halted construction of a proposed ultra-modern mosque, a madrasa and a community nursery school being funded by a philanthropist from Turkey. The area member of County Assembly Francis Kombe Nzai is accusing police officers from Matamba Police Station for trying to derail the project initiated by the county government early this year.
Kukubaliana kwamba kiwanja hichi kijengwe kikatwe katikati ili msikiti na ofisi ya DO zipatikane. Hiyo ndio alikuwa tumekubaliana. Lakini cha kustaajabisha ni kwamba leo asubuhi amekuwa hapa tena na wazee wa mitaa na wakasema wamepata petition kutoka kwa wakaaji wa hapa kwamba hawajahusishwa vilivyo na wangependa kujua pia mfadhili nani.
That is where we take our first breather here on Channel 1 Lunchtime News. But remember, you can interact with us on Twitter. We are at KBC Channel 1 or at Betty Kiptum. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Raya, hii ni kwa matiche wote. Please, do not confuse the government. Usianza kufinya ile kitu inasema more fire. Ama ile ya the roof is on fire. Ama unaanza kusema we are killing this party. Ama the party is just a bomb. We are having a...
Kupata Karau na DJ, bonyeza star 811 star 816 hash. Bonyeza star 811 star 816 hash.
People gonna say all kind of things about you. With them on, shake up, need to mush you one, done to mush you one. When your booty gon' show me now. Baby, one time, bouncy baby, give me 2 times. Full 180, crazy. Trago ya la botella. Let's go. Ha. I needed some with some bop in it. Mamacita, where you at? I've been trying to reach you. Choro. Get the party more. Katoto shepu awe, ayawe. Tekenya katoto, kamini tekenya.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
What's with the suitcase? Seeing that nobody wants me to marry Ramon, I'm going to live with him.
Listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes you're very impulsive and you say and do things without thinking so much, and you know that.
You think so?
I do, my love. So, if you wish to stay here with me, it's like you're challenging them.
Viola isn't here.
Well, then you should call her on her phone. Tell her I'm here so that we can have dinner together.
She doesn't live here anymore.
Whatever do you mean by that?
No, she went to live with Ramon.
What? That's impossible.
Episode.
Wanawake kuimba na kucheza katika eneo hili sio jambo la kushangaza. Lakini wakiwa na ala za kazi mikononi mwao, hadithi ndiyo hiyo. Kutokana na mpango wa halmashauri ya kitaifa ya unyunyizaji maji mashamba, wakazi wa Turkana sasa wana hadithi tofauti ya kusimulia.
Wale watu wana mashamba na hawataka kulima, tunasema sasa kwa nini wewe unaumia njaa na mchanga ndio hii, mvua ndio hii, maji ndio hii.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Make him understand before the debate starts. He is still a child, unaware of the customs of the royal family.
I know, Noor, it is not easy for you to do this task, but we are helpless. Moreover, this is a fact. It is my helplessness only that wants you to seek Dastan's help.
Ashok needs to help himself on his own. Only then will he be able to help Magad.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Every day we are go fight. I think it's best that you forget me.
Welcome back. You are watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Now, a family in Nyatieko village, Kisii County, is seeking justice after their kin was allegedly knocked down by a Kisii County vehicle on Monday. The family, at the same time, is calling for assistance from well-wishers to have their 8-year-old boy get treatment.
According to the boy's mother, Helen Mora, the son was selling avocados at the local market with his 11-year-old brother when the county vehicle pursuing some demonstrators swerved and hit him. Mora said that they had not taken the injured boy to hospital because they did not have any money to cater for medical checkups and treatment.
Wakati hiyo gari ilikuwa inasunguka kukimbisha hiyo pikipiki kugeuka kwa barabara ikakonga huyu mtoto. Vile ilimkonga huyu mtoto akaangukia mahali alienda akaanguka.
Mora has appealed for help from well-wishers to treat the boy since they were not sure of the extent of the injuries.
Atuchiwesi hata. Alafu huyu mtoto sahi jana alishindwa kutembea. Alafu tukashindwa pesa ya kumpeleka hospitali. Sasa tunaomba serikali itusaidie. Hiyo gari yenye ilimkuwa inamkonga ni gari ya county ya Kisii County.
The family claims the occupants of the vehicle on discovering of the incident took off. Former Kisii Mayor Samuel Omwando castigated Kisii County enforcement officers for engaging peaceful locals who are protesting against the intended relocation of the county dump site to the area in an ugly confrontation.
There is a serious contention with the residents, with the county government of Kisii. The county government has decided to site a garbage collection for the entire county here in Nyatieko. And the residents are up in arms. They don't want that.
Timothy Kipnusu for Channel 1 News.
More than 150 Kitengela-based pastors have dedicated 1 week of fasting and prayers seeking divine interventions for the country in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic and massive corruption in government. The 1 week prayers are also meant to strengthen the bond between pastors in the region post-COVID-19 pandemic.
The men of cloth have resorted to fasting as the country grapples with many challenges. The clergy under Kitengela Pastors Association have been congregating at Kitengela Deliverance Church for prayers since Monday. The clergy taking issue with the wave of corruption currently sweeping in the country and urge all churches to rally behind the president in the fight against the vice.
Ya washungaji wa Kitengela wamrudie Mungu, maana tunajua tukiwa na Mungu akituongoza tutashinda kila kitu na huduma itakuwa rahisi, maana Mungu ndiye anatupatia nguvu.
Mara nyingi taifa wameongea mambo ya corruption. Wakati kanisa watakapoongea na sauti moja, hapo ndipo nchi itabadilika.
At the same time, the religious leaders said churches should challenge corrupt individuals who loot from the public only to donate part of their ill-gotten money to church.
Tunaomba pia hata wale wafisadi wote waje watubu na warejeshe kile ambacho wamechukua. Na kama mtu amefanya dhambi, basi hapo watu wanasamehewa.
The men of God have also reached out to their congregation to resume church attendance.
The time to come back to the church is now. We bless the Lord that the gap now is flattening. COVID is going down.
The prayers and fasting will end on Sunday with worshippers expected to replicate their spiritual leaders' bond sacrifice. Ruth Wamboi for Lunchtime News.
To matters tourism now, a maritime conservation group in Kilifi County has devised alternative means of livelihood to cope with economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has adversely affected tourism in the region. The group, which consists of more than 50 members, promotes conservation of mangroves through ecotourism and tree planting.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to hit hard outside and within the country, bringing with it massive job losses, many people have been forced to seek alternative means of livelihood. In Mida Creek, Kilifi County, Bidii na Kazi Women Group has decided to embrace conservation of mangroves in a bid to reignite tourism in the region. Arafa Salim Baya, a renowned conservationist and founder of the group, says they have made a big strides in their quest to improve mangrove trees that was depleted by loggers.
Sababu hasa ya kuanzisha mradi kama huu ni kulinda rasilimali ya mikoko. Kwa sababu tunataka rasilimali ilindwe, lazima tutafute miradi endelevu ambayo tutafaidika kama jamii, tutafaidika kama wamama na vijana wa Mida Creek.
To supplement their income, the group has also set up a restaurant to promote ecotourism.
Sasa ukitembea Mida Creek, ile hoteli tuko nao pale, imetumiza kama wamama. Kwa sababu ufadhili tumejenga hoteli, wageni hakuna.
Kufikia sasa corona imetuharibia mambo mengi sana, kwa sababu kulingana na mpando watu wa mambo ya utalii imeshuka sana. Tunaweza kukaa kwenye muda wetu katika sehemu zetu za kazi, tukafanya kazi kwa siku moja, kwa sababu corona imeleta shida kulingana na mpando wa utalii. Wageni wanaokuja hapa tunapata kwa leo pengine wageni 2, 3.
The restaurant, which is located right in the middle of the creek, is now the main source of income for the more than 50 members in the group. Bidii na Kazi Women Group also bought canoes for use by tourists in excursions in the mangrove site. However, the business is yet to achieve its full potential owing to the global health crisis that has hit the tourism industry hardest.
Tunaomba hasa kwa waziri wetu Mheshimiwa Balala, katika wakati ya market zile site ambazo Wakenya zaidi, tunaomba Wakenya zaidi watembelee haya maeneo, na tunaomba wageni pia wa nje watembelee, na waziri Balala aje maeneo kama haya.
Meanwhile, the group is inviting the Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala to tour the creek.
Now, the government has frozen the funds and assets of 9 alleged financiers said to be bankrolling Al-Shabaab terror organization in the country. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i says the move is aimed at disrupting the activities of the terrorist group on Kenyan soil, as well as bringing to book sponsors and perpetrators of terrorism in Kenya.
In what may be the boldest move yet to stamp the operations of the Al-Shabaab in the country, the government has released the names of individuals believed to be bankrolling the terror organization. The 9 individuals include Halima Aden Ali, Walid Ahmed Zain, Sheikh Gorse Boru, Mohamed Abdi Ali alias Abu Fida, Nusaiba Mohamed Haji, Abdi Majid Aden Hassan, Mohamed Ali Abdi, Mukhtar Ibrahim Ali, Mire Abdullahi Elmi. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i says the move taken by the government is aimed at choking terror facilitation networks and destroying the financial muscles of individuals funding the terror gang within Kenyan borders. Matiang'i says the government is actively engaged in stifling operating spaces used by terror groupings and will act tough on sympathizers and sponsors of terror. Kenya has been a target for the Al-Shabaab since it sent troops to Somalia in 2011 to dismantle the terror group.
We take our second break here on Channel 1 Lunchtime News. We'll be back with more news, including business and sports updates. Stay with us.
this Wednesday on KBC Channel 1.
You're a liar. It's the one thing you despise the most in this world. How can you expect me to believe you?
Ramon Ortiz, how many times did I ask you to do things with careful thinking and not just following your impulse?
Come on, Mother, what's wrong with us wanting to get married?
El paraíso
In love with Ramon.
Gear up and maintain a healthy, fit and active lifestyle right there at home by keeping up with Gear Up on Channel 1, 5:30 to 6 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Gear up every day for every moment, and remember to stay home and keep safe.
On the next episode,
Wanawake kuimba na kucheza katika eneo hili sio jambo la kushangaza. Lakini wakiwa na ala za kazi mikononi mwao, hadithi ndiyo hiyo. Kutokana na mpango wa halmashauri ya kitaifa ya unyunyizaji maji mashamba, wakazi wa Turkana sasa wana hadithi tofauti ya kusimulia.
Wale watu wana mashamba na hawataka kulima, tunasema sasa kwa nini wewe unaumia njaa na mchanga ndio hii, mvua ndio hii, maji ndio hii.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Make him understand before the debate starts. He is still a child, unaware of the customs of the royal family.
I know, Noor, it is not easy for you to do this task, but we are helpless. Moreover, this is a fact. It is my helplessness only that wants you to seek Dastan's help.
Ashok needs to help himself on his own. Only then will he be able to help Magad.
On the next episode of
Kama ulijua huwezi kunilisha mimi, mbona ulinitoa kwetu? Kwa nini ulinioa na kuuliza? Fani ya mwanamke huku kwetu, ni akaendane, mwanaume naye atoke zake akachume. Umeelewa? Mwanaume tena kama wewe vile, lakini ni tajiri wewe. Sisi hatosheki. Nyinyi wanaume ndio wabaya. Nyinyi hata hamridhiki kabisa, hata mfanywe nini.
Ukiona paka majani, hiyo nyumbani hashibi.
this weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Why are you walking like that? Like what? Let me tell you, no one cares who you are or what you are wearing or where you slept last night.
What do you think you're doing?
You know, I wish I could say it, Senorita, my love, but you know, just make this moment memorable.
Oh my God. How about this for a memory? Back off. I said we are done. I meant it then, and I mean it now, Sisha.
Maybe she has become a witch doctor.
Oh, that's very dangerous. Oh, clean this area. Cleanse this room. You little rat, where the hell did you put my stock? Where the hell did you put my stock?
What? I don't know what you are talking about. You took your stock last week.
Kinyanjui, do not touch my face. Now look at how much you cost me.
Thank you for staying with us. Channel 1 Lunchtime News continues. Now, Northeastern Regional Commissioner Nicodemus Ndalana has warned the political class from the area against creating new informal settlements ahead of 2022 general elections. The administrator said that the politicians were drumming up support for the 2022 general elections through creating informal settlements to gather voters.
Speaking in Mandera town while inspecting work progress on the National Hygiene Program, Kazimtani, Northeastern Regional Commissioner Nicodemus Ndalana sent a warning to the area politicians against putting up new informal settlements to gear up for 2022 general elections. adding that the government will not spare those found culpable.
Serikali imeamua mzuri kupitia National Security Council ya kwamba kusifanyike new settlements. Hakuna kitu itaendelea hapo.
Ndalana said the interclan clashes between the Murule and the Gari last month was orchestrated by politicians putting up settlements in preparation for the 2022 elections.
Watu asijifiche nyuma wengine ama mtu ajifiche ni nini? Tunajua mambo mengi ni kuhusu siasa hizi zinakuja za 2022 na kadhalika.
Elsewhere, a group of youth engaged in the government-funded Kazi Mtaani program in Isiolo County have joined hands and started a savings scheme to enable them to keep going even after conclusion of the project. According to the group's chairman Boniface Mohuha, the savings dubbed Next Generation Mfanyikazi Youth Group plans to position its members to benefit from government funding such as Youth Enterprise Development Fund and the Uwezo Fund.
Tuliona vizuri tujikusanye na pesa ambayo tunayokusanya angalau kidogo tutatumia kesho ama kesho hilo, yani wakati huu wa Kazi Mtaani itaisha, na asilimia fulani pia tunarudishia society.
The group has been registered with the Register of Societies.
The Kenya Film Commission will establish a fully equipped film hub in Bomet County to help young people exploit their talents. The commission has entered into an agreement with the county government of Bomet, which will provide land for setting up the hub that will cost 15 million shillings.
We are here to drive our mandate and just encourage everyone that we have an opportunity to grow our economy, to create employment, to also tell our stories by nurturing talent that we have. And that's why our initiatives are geared towards creating a ecosystem that will be able to provide room for each and every one of us across the country to be able to have a pie of our stories. I would like everyone to embrace the way the trends are moving in terms of technology, because if we remain behind, then it will be very difficult on how we'll be able to sell our content. Our aim is to see end to end, from creation to distribution and consumption, that we are applying the latest technology, we are applying the very best skills, and we also undertake research to tell stories that will be consumed by many.
So the only way we can market ourselves and tell the world that there are good things that you can come and see in Bomet is, of course, by producing films and sharing those films so that people, the world, can know that Bomet is there.
Let's do the business now. Only small businesses hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic would benefit from the second tranche of government stimulus aimed at supporting businesses facing capital challenges. This is according to Industrialization Cabinet Secretary Betty Maina, who says a targeted disbursement would be employed after a mapping exercise to identify beneficiaries is concluded. She says the first tranche of the government stimulus targeted all businesses without considering their sizes or how they had been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Over 90% of businesses in Kenya are micro, small and medium enterprises, 81% of which are micro enterprises. A report by the African Union Development Agency, NEPAD, notes that 73% of Kenya's micro, small and medium enterprises saw a decline in revenue due to the impact of COVID-19, leading to closure or downsizing. This saw the government earmark 5 billion shillings to support small businesses affected by COVID-19. Industrialization Cabinet Secretary Betty Maina says more cash would be disbursed to small businesses, but this time round, a mapping exercise would be undertaken to ensure that only the hardest hit businesses benefit. Among conditions for micro, small and medium enterprises to benefit is that they need to formalize their operations to ensure they are within the system where they can be reached for both financial and technical support. In addition, the government is pledging more training as well as preferential treatment to participate in the public procurement program. In July, the government released a list of 334 items that public institutions are required to purchase locally in support of local businesses. Now, Kenya has been ranked at position 115 out of 152 in the latest Competitive Industrial Performance Index report, which benchmarks the ability of countries to produce and export manufactured goods competitively. Kenya was ranked lower than Egypt and South Africa at position 64 and 52 respectively, toward East African counterparts, with Tanzania ranked 123 and Uganda at position 128.
The Competitive Industrial Performance Index Report 2020 benchmarked the ability of countries to produce and export manufactured goods competitively. It provides a yardstick against which Kenya can compare its manufacturing competitiveness on a global level. The report, which ranks China second, says the second largest economy is very strong in manufacturing due to the use of high technology that is applied by 30.6% of its manufacturers, whereas only 9.3% are resources-based manufacturers. Comparatively, Kenya's manufacturing sector export structure is dependent on resources-based manufacturers at 42.9%, with high-tech manufacturers only accounting to 5.5%. Commenting on the report, Industrialization Principal Secretary Dr. Francis Owino highlighted the importance of driving the competitiveness of the manufacturing sector, noting the need to improve our overall performance to boost trade and investment. He said this report shows Kenya is at position 115 out of 152. This is far from our expectations and calls for urgent need to collaborate to achieve faster growth in the sector. We will continue to collaborate with various stakeholders to achieve targets in the policy-making formula to get Kenya in the global competitiveness map. End of quote. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers says though Kenya continues to progress in the ease of doing business index, there's need to look into our ability to sustainability produce goods and services. In a quote, we must all look at our ability to produce goods for which there is a market at a price and a quality that their market is willing to pay for, said the Kenya Association of Manufacturers Chairman Mushai Kunyiha.
To the field now, newly promoted Kenyan Premier League side Nairobi City Stars have signed midfielder Rooney Kola Oyaro from lower tier side Kenya School of Government KSGFC. Kola becomes the third signing at the club in the current transfer window after Roland Makati, who was signed from Vepa Sports Club, and Timothy Ouma from Laser Hill Academy. The Simba wa Nairobi, who have lost Levis Opio and Kevin Chumsi Okumu to Gor Mahia and Wazito FC respectively, have also managed to tie down 5 players, Anthony Muki and Calvin Masawa, centre-back Wycliffe Otieno, Charles Otieno Oduro and David Agesa to new long-term contracts. City Stars will be making a comeback to the top flight after they were promoted alongside Bidco United when Football Kenya Federation moved to end the National Super League owing to the effects caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Internationally, Arsenal have completed the signing of Lille defender Gabriel Magalhaes on a long-term deal. The Brazilian, aged 22, was linked with a host of clubs and was close to an Everton switch prior to the coronavirus pandemic, but Lille eventually accepted bids from the Gunners and Napoli, with Mikel Arteta and Edu successfully convincing the centre-back to head to North London. Manchester United was reportedly in contact with Magalhaes agents too, but it is understood concrete talks were never held, and Magalhaes has now opted to put pen to paper with Arsenal on a 5-year deal for a fee which could rise to €27 million. Now, Andy Murray staged a stunning comeback against Yoshihito Nishioka in the US Open first round on his long-awaited return to Grand Slam singles tennis. The 33-year-old came from 2 sets and a breakdown against the Japanese to win 4-6, 4-6, 7-6, 7-5, 7-6, 7-4, 6-4. The Briton, whose last major singles match was at the 2019 Australian Open before career-saving hip surgery, started flat and dispirited, but he found his fight and saved a match point to set up an epic win. Meanwhile, Serena Williams began her pursuit of a record equaling 24th Grand Slam singles title with a dominant 7-5, 6-3 win over fellow American Christy Ahn. The 38-year-old went a breakdown in both sets, but recovered to win in an hour and a half as she chases Margaret Court's Grand Slam tally. Williams gathered momentum late on, winning 4 straight games against the world number 96 in the second set. It is on that sporty note that we put a cap to the Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Many thanks for your company. My name is Betty Kiptum. Simon Karudha has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Have yourself a lovely afternoon.
Vera Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.